This module includes a cover folder with maps and a complete description booklet to form a ready-made scenario for Dungeons & Dragons basic set. It has been specifically designed for use by beginning dungeon masters so that they may begin play with a minimum of preparations. You have traveled for many days, leaving the realm and entering into the wilder area of the Borderlands. Farms and towns have become less frequent and travelers few. The road has climbed higher as you enter the forested and mountainous country. You now move up a narrow, rocky track. A sheer wall of natural stone is on your left, the path falling away to a steep cliff on the right. There is a small widening ahead, where the main gate to the keep is. The blue-clad men-at-arms, who guard the entrance, shout at you to give your names and state your business. All along the wall you see curious faces peering down at you, eager to welcome new champions of law, but ready with crossbow and pole arm to give another sort of welcome to enemies. The forest you have been passing through has been getting more dense, tangled, and gloomier than before. The thick, twisted tree trunks, unnaturally misshapen limbs, writhing roots, clutching and grasping thorns and briars all seem to warn and ward you off, but you have forced and hacked your way through regardless. Now the strange growth has suddenly ended. You have stepped out of the thicket into a ravine-like area. The walls rise rather steeply, to either side to a height of about 100 foot or so, dark, streaked rock mingled with earth. Clumps of trees grow, here and there, both on the floor of the ravine and up the sloping walls of the canyon. The opening you stand in is about 200 foot wide. The ravine runs at least 400 foot west, actually 440, to where the western end rises in a steep slope. Here and there, at varying heights on all sides of the ravine, you can see the black mouths of cave-like openings in the rock walls. The sunlight is dim, the air dank. There is an oppressive feeling here, as if something evil is watching and waiting to pounce upon you. There are bare, dead trees, here and there, and upon one a vulture perches and gazes hungrily at you. A flock of ravens rise croaking from the ground, the beat of their wings and their cries magnified by the terrain to sound loud and horrible. Amongst the litter of rubble, boulders, and deadwood scattered about on the ravine floor, you can see bits of gleaming ivory and white. Closer inspection reveals that these are bones and skulls of men, animals, and other things. You know that you have certainly discovered the caves of chaos.
Greetings, I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at one of the classics D&D modules, Keep on the Borderlands. Keep on the Borderlands, if I can say it right tonight. I'm going to apologize in advance here. I'm not feeling all that great, and I haven't for a couple of days, but I've been excited to do this, so I want to soldier on here. There are so many cool things about this particular adventure. Now, I have like 2 copies of this module, but I also have a 3rd copy of this map to help protect the module, because this one is really beat up, and I don't know where I acquired this. It was just in a box set or something that I acquired. There's so many cool things about Keep on the Borderlands. It's an introductory module by Gary Gygax for levels 1 to 3 for D&D. We're talking old school D&D. And basically, it's a learning module for both players and dungeon masters. Now, the other cool thing about this is it comes with a bunch of pre-made characters in the back, so that you can just throw some characters on a character sheet or on a piece of paper and play. Now, I managed to actually, in that video, hey, Rudini, I'm going to also say hi to Cool Gamer and Spinetick. Sorry, I meant to do that verbally before I started. But like I said, my head's not all here tonight, so sorry about that. So, hello, Ray. Now, Gary Gygax helped design the game system, but a lot of other hands were in the old D&D box set. Namely Frank Menser and Dave Cook. Dave Cook did revise this for the basic set. So One of the, as far as I'm concerned, one of the greatest influences on Dungeons and Dragons was Dave Zeb Cook. He cleaned it up and made AD&D Second Edition. Well, he put it together and consolidated it, and that's where I really got into AD&D. But before AD&D, there was the D&D Basic and D&D Expert, which is where I started. So what we have here is I'm gonna check some of this stuff out. Now, in that video I played the intro, now I selected a few things throughout the module that I went and I did some AI voice work too, and hope you enjoyed that. Now this has your basic stuff for a module. It has an introduction. It has notes for the dungeon master. It's your standard fare. But what this one has that a lot of other ones don't is Keep on the Borderlands actually has instructions for the dungeon master on how to get started playing a game. It also has how to determine armor class, using the combat tables, movement in combat. It's like it says, it's an introductory module. You missed it, you'll catch it later. Oh yeah, well, it's already posted. I've had it up for a couple weeks. The intro video is like I said, it's pretty cool, and so well, at least I think it is. I thought I did a pretty good job on that one. It has all the artwork for the module, so if you see it on here, you can definitely see it in the video there, especially the map. Now, see, well, the PDF, this map is actually in 2 parts, one for each page. And I put that together on the computer and made it look pretty good, I think, as one page. Hello, Kenneth Bird. Welcome. Reniti says, cool. I like that. So, yeah, let me do this proper. Cool Gamer said hello, and so did Spine Ticks, Seth Lordby himself. And then we had Reniti popping in, saying hola. And then we had Kenneth Bird. And now we've got Robert Springs. Welcome, sir. Anyway, well, just talking about Keep on the Borderlands. Now, I have to say this is probably one of the most played adventures ever for Dungeons and Dragons. I played it a lot as a player, as a game master. I've run it 3 times. Once as a campaign, and twice as just a standalone adventure. The most recently was about 2 years ago. To start my second campaign for Remember Mid-Canton. I'm actually on my 3rd on the channel right now. And he said, hello, everybody. That's cool. All right. Put that up there. Everybody saying hi. Appreciate you all being here tonight. I hope you guys like Keep on the Borderlands. And if you don't know anything about Keep on the Borderlands, well, we're going to talk quite a bit about it. And then later on, I've got a bit of a surprise for everybody. As far as I got another little video I'm going to play, and you should, if you want to stick around for that, that'd be cool too. Now, this has a whole section on how to be an effective dungeon master. Now, I don't believe I've ever seen that in any other module. I mean, I'm sure other adventures do have advice on being a dungeon master, but not directly talking to the dungeon master on how to be a dungeon master. And in this being like, I think it was like the 2nd or 3rd published adventure by TSR. According to this, it was published in, I'm pretty sure, 79 originally, and then it was revised in 81. Yeah, that's what this says here. This was copyrighted in 81. Now, it's they I don't know what format it was published in 79, because these are the only copies I've ever seen is the ones that have the 81 date on it. It's about IKEA. We ignore that shit. Yeah. Okay. Now, a lot of people do ignore that. But for beginning dungeon masters. This especially back when nobody even knew what D&D was, and a lot of people still don't. And we found out we shouldn't have. Yeah, that's true, Ray. Exactly. Yeah, I didn't pay it any mind back when I was first playing either, but as an older gamer and a more long-time player, I found this to be really cool. That it was even there. I mean, I just went straight to the adventure and started playing it, you know. In fact, the first time I ever played, my friend was running the adventure, and I didn't even realize that he was being a dungeon master. I didn't even really know what that was, but it was a lot of fun, and I got into it. And I never really got out of role playing per se, but over the years, I've switched from D&D to AD&D, and I made up my own game system when third edition came out, and basically for the longest time I was playing a revised version of AD&D second edition. But then probably about 2010, we formalized Lenharo into its own game system, and when we did that, we found a really easy way to convert old D&D and AD&D modules to our system. And what we do is we would just make a creature trip sheet, or a CTS, which we do for our own adventures. And to me, a lot of those old D&D modules had creature trip sheets in the back. They called them all sorts of things. Let's see. Spytick says, one of these days you'll have Mr. Lenharo in the stream. Well, maybe we'll figure out an AI version of Mr. Lenharo. But anyway, this is how many creatures were in it. I have a double-sided creature trip sheet, and basically each one of these is a creature and has all their stats from our game system. Now, like I said, some of the old D&D modules did that too, and that's where I got the idea to do that. Hello, Sixth Face. Well, welcome. Evening, everybody. He's saying. It's nice to see you here. Now, that's just my conversion for my game system. We're mainly here to talk about the actual D&D version of it. Now, it even gives Dungeon Masters information on how to run time, and how to run an effective campaign, or even just an effective adventure. How to divide treasure, and how to compute experience. I never read this, and I didn't realize that you were supposed to give experience points for gold picked up, because it still doesn't make sense to me, but that's kind of how D&D originally was. It was about what gold you picked up, plus you'd get experience points for killing monsters and stuff, but it was mainly about what gold pieces you picked up. And I don't know how picking up a piece of gold gives you experience points, but now if you are a thief and you steal it, now that's a different subject altogether. Now, it also has, well, it's got some cool artwork there at the bottom of this page, but over here it has also how to prepare for the use of the module and how to actually run a module. GP equals XP. Yeah, that's how it originally was, right? And I didn't even know that. I never played it that way. Never. I never played it that way. And a lot of people who have played it that way since the beginning are like, what do you mean? You played since 82 and you never did XP Gold P? And no, I have not. And I'm actually glad I didn't, because to me, that just seems like, well, so what? You find a horde and you kill a dragon, you get the experience points for the dragon, and he's got, like, let's say the dragon has 30,000 gold pieces. You are supposed to get 30,000 experience points. That's pretty crazy for just picking up treasure. But that's how the rules went. Now, you can run it that way if you want to. I think all DMs should run it and be comfortable however they want. And Lenharo, we call a dungeon master a referee. And that's kind of what Gygax called it in the first edition DMG as well. Now, before I forget, in the description, I have a link to a channel called Mage's Musings. And on that channel, as Merlinster Gandaldor, Sean, a very cool game master, dungeon master, only runs old school stuff, old school essentials, basically. Old D&D, AD&D, D&D first edition specifically is what he really likes to run. And he is currently running a campaign based on Keep on the Borderlands, and he does these really cool little review caps with, he has, I can't remember the name of the little, they're like cardboard cutout figurines that he puts together, and he shows them on the screen, almost animated, but not quite. He does have some cool shorts. But yes, Mage's Music is a good channel, so subscribe to him and check out his review caps. If you want to know more about Keep on the Borderlands and how it's actually played through, he does a really good job of that. And I've watched, I'm pretty sure I'm up to date on his review caps for Keep on the Borderlands. Now, he doesn't stick straight to the module. He's running a campaign. So his players have deviated from the actual adventure. But they are finally getting into the Caves of Chaos, which is the ultimate conclusion of this. Now, once you've prepped to run this, it also starts with giving you a background. Now, what I do, and I'm going to keep bringing up Lenharo because that's the way I do things. My background, I do have a background when I write adventures, but I call it a legend, and I put everything that the referee needs to know at the beginning of the legend. And that's to me, that's just how I think a module should be written. Now, it goes through how to start it, gives you some notes, gives you notes about the Keep on the Borderlands. It does some really cool stuff in here. Rumors table, which I incorporated into one of my bigger modules that I have coming out called Grimdal's Keep. I have a big old rumors table in that too. I really like that about this adventure. Now, some of the artwork for the Keep, it's really good. I mean, this is the you coming up to the where the portcullis is down. Now, I actually have some really little bits to show you about that. Now, this actually came with the original basic set for D&D. And this was the cover of the box, which gives you a better look at the cover of the basic rulebook. And B1, Keep on the Borderlands, came with that. Now, this actually you can't see very well. So what I did in the video was I put this in separately, and as well as the back, which they really don't. I'll show that in just a minute here. They really don't show that very well. Hello, Superior Godzilla, Cyber Godzilla. Welcome. We're just talking about Keep on the Borderlands. I have to keep doing both host and showing you the pictures of the video in the branding section. Now, what I have to show you, and my surprise here, I'm going to kind of reveal that right now. I also have the Return to the Keep on the Borderlands second edition version that they put into the Greyhawk campaign. Hobgoblins, yeah, there's hobgoblins in here, Ray, in both versions. Now, the updated version is basically the same module, but set 20 years later. You can run it as a sequel, or what I like to do is actually combine the best parts of both and run it as one adventure. And you can run it over time, or you can run it as just one solid adventure, or what I have most recently done is as the starting for a campaign, like I was mentioning earlier. Now, and the reason why I show that is because I have put together a video for that I'm going to play here in a little while after we discuss the original module. I'm going to show you my tribute video for that, which we'll post later on tonight on From the Hilt as well. So if you miss it on here, you can catch it there if you want to. It's basically just a collection of all the artwork in it, and I'll talk about that when we get to it. Now, as far as the Keep is concerned, Gygax just goes right into it, man. He just starts laying out what's in what areas of the Keep. And I do have a good detailed version of the Keep's map. And basically, you start here. So let me make sure I got the, because I have both. Here's the original version of the keep and all its areas. And what I wanted to do is show you their update for the return to the keep on the Borderlands and show you how much they redid the maps. And so it's really cool to have both, so you can pick and choose which maps that you want to use when you run the adventure. Now, once it goes through all the details of the keep, what is neat about this particular adventure is that it doesn't go into detail about what the names of any of the people in this keep are. It leaves it free for the dungeon master to create all the names if they want to or not. It is really entirely up to a dungeon master. And I guess that got ingrained in me because I prefer to make up my own names and stuff. And it's cool to have adventures that give you everything. But it's also nice to see ones that don't and leave it wide open for a dungeon master to do basically whatever they want with the scenario that presented at hand. Now, I'm not going to really go into a lot of detail. If you guys have questions about the keep and everything, shoot them out to me, and I will answer them, or we'll read it together. Like I said, it's been a while since I ran this, a couple years, but it's still in there. And I purposely didn't read through it again so we could actually explore it together. Now, some of these, like I said, some of the artwork in this is pretty cool. I mean, this is the scene for the old hermit. And when we look at the second edition version, I want to basically kind of go over some of the things that they changed about it and what makes it different, not necessarily better or worse. Now, personally, I prefer the original version of the adventure. But like I said, it's nice to have both so you can compare them. Now, let's see. Well, then they go into adventures outside the keep, which is why I was showing you the picture of the old hermit. Now, like I said, they had a really decent map of that, of the area in the original module. It wasn't bad. It did the job. It showed you exactly what you needed to do, where you could go from the keep and all the areas. I have to say, they updated it and made it a lot better and a lot nicer. I wish they had put it in color. But other than that, I thought it was really well done. And they added quite a few things, including they showed you exactly where B1 is, Casqueton, I think is how you pronounce that, which is Adventure Module B1 in Search of the Unknown. Now, they just call it Cave of the Unknown on the original map. That's kind of why I'm going back and forth and showing you. All right, let's see here what we got. We got a comment. Hey, Bert, how you doing? Doing live, but we'll sit with my support here with you, buddy. Appreciate that. Hopefully you'll be able to catch the replay if you're into D&D. If not, don't worry about it. Anyway, now the other thing I want to show you was first edition modules. They had, not only did they have an image on the cover, but they usually had one on the back too. Whereas the second edition modules, this is the cover of Return to the Keep on the Borderlands. Now they didn't have anything on the back but words and a synopsis for the adventure. But the first edition one, the original D&D one did. Scheduling conflicts. Okay, Ray. Now the original D&D one had this on the back. Now, what they did in the second edition version was they had a similar picture, but not exact, but only in black and white. And they used this image right here over and over again in the module as a chapter header. I don't know why they did that, but they did. Let me see. Hey, Sydney Cat, welcome. How you doing, Sydney? You're silently watching. Well, we're glad to have you here. I'm just going over the Keep on the Borderlands adventure. Right now, we're taking a look at adventures outside the keep. So, like I said, I'm going to put that map back up there while I talk here. And I'm going to put up the newer version of the map so you can see a few things. Now, you know what? I'm going to do the original one so that we can talk about the original one, and then we'll look at certain things. I'm glad you're doing well, Cindy. What did you have painted on the van? The Keep of the Borderlands? You had that painted on a van? Ray, that's cool. Silent but deadly. I don't know how nice that is, Spine Ticks, but I don't see any gas sharks yet, and I don't think we want any. Now, in the original adventure, they had the Mound of the Lizardmen, which you could place wherever you want. I tend to place it down near the river somewhere, or on one of those hills. Let's see. Yeah, the pink scene. Okay, yeah, okay. I agree with you. It's beautiful. So that's why I definitely wanted a good shot of it. Not to cut it short, but I got to go to bed. I've been up since 5 a.m. Okay, Robert. Hey, no biggie. I've been up since pretty early too. East Coast of South Carolina. Yeah, some of my players are from South Carolina. That's cool. Yeah, you have a good night too, and we'll catch you on another time. Okay. All right. So, like I said, the Mound of the Lizardmen. They say it's near the fens, but they really don't show you on the map where it is. And later in the second edition version, they put everything where they want it. You know, they set everything in stone, and that's okay. It was on your A-Team van. Did you really have a black A-Team van? That'd be cool. Let's see. Sith Lord says, I start crushing cells at 6 a.m. Early bird gets the worm and all that. Yep. You went to bed at 7 a.m.? I do that a lot, Ray. But lately I haven't been feeling good, and I crash out. And your van was pink. Okay. Yeah, I cry. Most nights I stay up most of the night and crash out about 8 in the morning. I've been hanging out as long as I could to watch Cat Fan in the morning. Who's got a great channel, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, Cat Fan, Comics Fan, it's a great show, great channel. Okay, let me see here. They've got a spider's lair, which you can place wherever you want. A raider camp with bandits. It gives you stats for a leader, a lieutenant, a couple bowmen, and 8 spearmen. Hey, hello, Allison Pearl Jam. I went to. Hello, everyone. Switching back and forth with birds. That's cool. Hey, you always pity the fools, Ray. That's cool. Those vans were nice. I never had a. I had a minivan once I had a family. But other than that, no. Now, they also had, like I said, the Mad Hermit. And the Mad Hermit actually has a mountain lion, a pet mountain lion that I always said like he was a druid, and he was his bonded one of his followers. Now, let me see here. After it goes over what's in the area around it, they actually go to the Caves of Chaos just right away in the adventure. And I remember playing so many adventures on this map, this massive dungeon map. And for this to be the first D&D map for adventuring in, I thought that was really cool. Everybody saying hi? Now, what was interesting about this, and a lot of people complain, the major complaint that people have with this is the fact that they had all these different races living relatively in a close proximity to each other instead of separating. Now, I always thought that was meant that there is something that was keeping them there, and they had that element in here, and we'll get to that. I gotta make sure I don't lose my middle section of the adventure. Now, in the middle of this original module, they have a pullout. It's not really a pullout section, but it almost always comes out. That has the area map, the map of the keep, and then it has like stuff for the D&D basic set, so you don't have to keep referring back to it. So the dungeon master can let the players look at the basic set and have all this information right here: the attack tables, the saving throws tables, and the cost of equipment, and even miscellaneous equipment and weapons too. It was pretty cool. And then, of course, it had more stuff on the back of that. It was almost like a mini Dungeon Master screen. You could put it up, and check it out. And Wandering Monster tables down there too. And I always thought this was very helpful, especially for a beginning dungeon master. Now, I'm going to get this map back up here. Let me see who. Well, thank you, Bert. I like my hat too. My wife bought it for me for Christmas last year, and I'm hoping to get a Cobra one this year. That would be cool. Does it list the 37 different pole arms? No, it does not. In fact, pole arms were not introduced until Unearthed Arcana for AD&D First Edition, and for D&D, it was in the revised version in what they call the companion set, which was higher level games, even beyond expert. But they had the pole arms in both of those books. And then it was just incorporated into the system when second edition came around. And when they consolidated all of the D&D BX and BECMI stuff into the rule cyclopedia, they had some stuff about pole arms in there too. But I never owned that book, so that's what I do want to acquire. All right, so we're gonna put this back up here because this is really the meat of the adventure. And basically in Cavern A, they have a kobold lair, and they describe all of its contents and all the little various areas. And then they have in Cave B is an orc lair. And again, goes through all the various areas and what's in what area. And you can change things around to suit your campaign. I don't know if we want to check our pants for pole arms. The 1E Player's Handbook did have a few, but Unearthed Arcana really went into it really nicely. And if I had access to my AD&D books right nearby, I would pull it out and show you guys. But we don't want to talk about pulling things out, right? Right there, Sith Lordly. Okay, we have a lady in the audience, so let's be nice, gentlemen. All right, so like I said, Cavern C was an orc lair, and let's see. When you get to Cavern D, you have a goblin lair down there on the southeast corner, and then you have area E is an ogre cave, which is a really small area. Let's see, piercing and bludgeoning damage. There, no slashing. A lot of pole arms are like that, but some do have slashing too. The Bardici was a perfect example of that. One of my favorite pole arms. But it was a little shorter and almost a battle axe, just a little longer. It had a longer pole. Imagine you put a battle axe on a pole. That's a Bardici. Yes, innuendo only, sir. Yes, innuendo only. We don't have to do rating Disney Plus. I mean, they do have the Netflix series of Marvel series on there, so they're not so clean themselves. No. Oh, okay. Only. I don't want to know, Ray. I really don't. Okay, so after the goblin ogre cave at E, we have a hobgoblin lair at F, and they got a torture chamber in the hobgoblin lair. I think that's pretty cool. Let me see here. Keeping going over this. Hello, Uncanny Swag. Welcome, sir. Yo. Yes, that I would say that's uncanny. All right, so after the hobgoblin lair, which is one of the biggest encounter areas in the Caves of Chaos, we have the Cave of the Minotaur in Area I. And I always have that Minotaur come out and mess with the players and scare the hell out of them. It's a lot of fun to do that. And it's interesting that they have a Minotaur in a beginning or basic adventure. Minotaurs, they're pretty tough. They're a 6 hit die monster. And how do first to third level characters deal with that? Let me see. All those goblinoids are probably likely to hang out. I always thought so too, and I actually incorporated that into my game system, that goblinoids do hang out. Probably because this was ingrained in the back of my head. Let me see here. Swagger, you tuning into my show, Blackhawks suck? Teamwork. Yes, teamwork. You're still a Bedard fan. I don't know who the Blackhawks or Bedard are, so I'm sorry. Sorry to say that. Now, after the Minotaur's lair, they have a Knoll lair. I'm pretty sure that's Area J. But Caves of the Minotaur, there's some pretty interesting stuff in there. They consider that, yeah, Area J is the Knoll lair. I was right. Let's see here. You know he wants to leave big time. Okay, Swag. He'll be gone as soon as his contract is up. Bedard. I'm sure that's who you're referring to. Okay, now Area K is the finale of the module, and it is the Shrine of Evil Chaos. Now, that is what they mainly change up in the second edition adventure. Like I said, we'll check out the differences between the two. But the Shrine of Evil Chaos was, to me, the biggest part of the module, and I don't know why they changed that. Now, here's the map, their updated version of the map, and I really like this look. It's in color. It was covered just like the original. I thought they did a really good job, and I'm actually not doing so bad tonight. I'm feeling okay right now. Bedard to Avalanche, you're good with that? Okay, Swag. Okay, now, that's pretty much it. They don't have an ending. I mean, they tell you what's there and what you can do with it, but they leave it completely up to the Dungeon Master to end this, and they just roll credits. He'll join Perry. Okay, now after that, like I said, they had stuff to have NPCs in it that people can hire as hirelings or use as characters. It was kind of cool. And it gives tips for the players in designing your own floor plans. And then it has a glossary of terms, like it goes into like what an amulet is, and it says a charm inscribed with a magic symbol. I'm not gonna go through this full list because it's a pretty decent sized list. But some of it is a vellum, a very strong cream colored paper. The polearm, it mentions your polearm in here, right? A large, heavy weapon on a long pole. There are many types, all of which are considered equal for D&D basic set combat. So in the basic rules of D&D, polearm was just a polearm. Now, they also here, and in the back, they had an example of a floor plan for the Dungeon Master to use as the guild house. And it could be any guild, but generally a lot of people use this for the Bounty Hunters Guild or the Thieves Guild. I mean, I'm used to Lenharo terminology. Maybe. Let's see here. Ray says, my polearm has been written off. I'm sorry to hear that, my friend. Gave you a piece of graph paper so you could draw your own map, or the players could use this to draw parts of the Caves of Chaos. Definitely not all of it. I do have an Adventurers Guild in Lenharo, and Dungeon Masters, like I said, are free to make whatever guilds and stuff they want. I always like to have a Merchant's Guild. Now, this right here I thought was really cool. And I have something similar to this that I have incorporated into my game, where it gives you additional non-player character, a chart, so you can make your own and have a list of it right there, so you didn't have to go looking up all these different cards or whatever you had. Just one piece of paper with all your stats on it. Oh, Cowboys got a touchdown tonight. I didn't know they were playing tonight. But that's right, there is Thursday night football. Okay, so that basically goes through Keep on the Borderlands. Now, before we start taking a look at the second edition version and how it differs slightly from the original, maybe in a major way, I'm going to go ahead and play. Yeah, it is a cool chart. I like it, Ray. I totally agree. I'm going to go ahead and play the tribute video I have for the second edition, Return to the Keep on the Borderlands. Now, the back cover is in there, and it, like I said, they incorporated that into Greyhawk Adventures, and I have a little bit of smudge on mine. And that's just the way things go sometimes. But here you go. here's my premiere for the tribute video for the return to the Keep on the Borderlands. Okay, I hope you like the artwork for this. The only issue I have for the artwork in the sequel is this was when Wishes of the Coast picked up AD&D and Dungeons and Dragons and TSR all together, and I really thought that they could have put more effort into it. Some of the maps are really nice. I'm glad that they made the maps nicer. But some of the artwork, it just doesn't invoke some of the same emotions to me as the original, but I might just be biased in that regard. And for the record, I used to be a Seattle Seahawks fan. So that's why I put that up there. I haven't watched football in a long time. It looked very similar to the first edition drawings, and maybe that's kind of what they were going for, Ray. But still, now, like I said, in this one, they went ahead and I'm pretty sure they named all the people in the Keep. And I do like the fact that they still went ahead with the cover of the module comes off, and then the inside of the module cover was the map. I don't know why they still don't do this, because then as a game master, you can set it down and it stands on its own. And you don't have to have it flat on the table, and you can just look at it. I love that about old modules. I don't know why they've steered away from that. Maybe it's a production thing, but if we could do it in the 80s, we definitely could do it now. I think it's a nice map too, Swag. I do like the updated maps that they have in here. And like I said, I use these instead of the old ones when I run the module, because they're more clear and concise about where they are. Now, of course, I have a Linharo conversion for the return to the Keep on the Borderland as well, if I can get it the right side up. And like the other one, I printed it this way. So you can have all your monster stats in one quick and easy place, so you don't have to keep looking through the module form. Like I said, a lot of the old D&D books would do that. So when I get into some of the other ones, we'll be taking a look at that too. Let me see. Ancient Aliens, man. We've lost that technology. Well, actually, this is like with the moon landing. NASA claims that they have since destroyed all the technology and don't know how they did it in '69. I find that to be retarded. So, but sorry if I use that word and nobody likes it. But, it's not meaning a person, but their actions. Okay, Swag's teasing us, says he wants to be in the Mag game but not playing. Well, he's joined my Discord, and whenever he wants to, I have sent him a link to the Mag server so he can join us whenever he wants. And he and I can sit down, and within a couple hours, we get his character banged out. No pun intended, Banger. Okay, so now this one continue. I like how in the updated second edition version they continued. They gave you a little background and gave some advice for the young at heart, but they didn't really do this as an introductory module. But they talked about how to deal with box text, which was kind of nice. How to deal with darkness. Hey, Swag, this whole section is for you. It's how to deal with darkness. Let me see. Commodore 64 had more computing power than the junk they used back then. This is true. Beggar's jealous. Well, I was jealous. It has a section on dividing treasure. Now, this is where they differ. Dungeon Master strongly urged to use the optional rule that grants experience for treasure. See, at the rate of 1 XP per 1 GP. I don't know why they did that in AD&D at all, or D&D. But to each Dungeon Master their own. And would your character be Swagger? That might actually work as a code name. Attack the darkness. Yes, sir. Well, it's got a whole section on the darkness and how to deal with it. I do like the fact that they incorporated the Death's Door rule in here. So that was cool. Like I said, there are some really neat things they did in the update, and I just like to use both. You do like that. Okay, so hey, when you're ready, Swag, hit me up, and we can set up a time, and I'll definitely make some time for you, dude, to make your character. Let's see. Swagger loses hand juggling live grenades. That's cool. Not for Swagger though. Gives you the ecology of the dungeon. Now, AD&D Second Edition went into a lot of things on for creatures. The Monsters Manual or the Monsters Compendium, loose leaf sheets that they used to put out. They had a big section on the ecology of the monsters, and this gives you an ecology of the dungeon, how to explore the dungeon. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. This is I'll actually read this part here. This is kind of cool. Let me see here. And then he can get a. Swag says he wants a hook hand. Ray says that he can get a robot hand. And let's see, get a major blood hand. They never made it clear until classified that was a robotic arm for Major Blood. But I think that's pretty cool. I can talk G.I. Joe too. Okay, so what's good for the goose is good for the gander. This section says the Dungeon Master should always remember that characters and monsters all have to play by the same rules. If he or she is going to allow the PCs the advantage of being able to run away without suffering a free attack, see running away or not dying until reduced to minus 10 hit points, then their enemies need to enjoy the same advantages. Same goes for any house rule, critical hits, fumbles, you decide to incorporate into your campaign. If the PCs can do it, so can the NPCs and the monsters. Extending the same benefits and penalties to all sides impartially makes the game more fair and hence more interesting. Now, I actually incorporated that into my game system. Always, if your players can use poison, then your creatures can use poison, and a lot of creatures do. So I don't see why they shouldn't be able to. What's good for the beggar is good for the swagger. Oh, that's real. Yes, sir. Yeah, see, beggar and swagger take Vegas. But first, we have to take Manhattan. I think that was Jason's job. Jason Voorhees. But anyway, I do like that they incorporated that in here. Now, it says that the original design was by Gary Gygax. They failed to give credit to a lot of the revised edition editors and stuff from the first edition. But then they this particular version is by John D. Rateliff. John D. Rateliff, I don't know some of the other things that he's done. I'm not really familiar with his work, but he did a pretty good job with this. Okay, so then they got a whole section on hirelings, henchmen, and allies, which is something you do a lot in the original module, but they didn't really talk about it much. So that was cool that they put that in here. How to interact with NPCs, how to keep watch when you're camping, how to map and make it a trail. I thought that was a nice addition. Let me see. Wide right. Now we're putting football in here. After they take Vegas, they wake up in a series called The Bangover. That's good. That's good, Ray. I like that. Like I said, there's a lot of things they incorporated into this second edition version, like how to do a marching order, which is something I like to do in my modules too. Yeah, I see what he did there too, Swag. Replacing dead PCs. It's a common trope that a new player just has a character just show up and players just automatically accepted the movie The Gamers 2, Darkness Rising. One of my favorite lines is when the character the player lost a character and the character died. The new player's character showed up and they said, "You look like a trustworthy fellow," and they just accepted him into the group without any real role playing. It was kind of funny, and that happened a lot in those old games. Let's see. Yeah, glad it wasn't wasted. Yeah, Spike is already making T-shirts. That's cool. The Bangover, yes, sir. I want one of those. I want a Spine Tick shirt too, but I gotta buy one. It's gonna take me a while to get it. Let's see. I'm glad they put a lot of this stuff in here. Notes about running away. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but I'm glad they have that in there. You gonna trademark the Bangover? All right. It has notes about secret doors. Now, I always saw secret doors in a different way than, as far as I know, any other game system. When I as a dungeon master run secret doors, they never really differentiated between what I consider secret and what I consider concealed, and I made a big distinction between the two. Let's see, we got eat a swag of ticks, a swag, not a bag, and then boom, you guys are having a lot of fun here. I'm glad you are. So he already did that. His initiation. It was his initiation ritual. Was he hazed too there? Hello, Trev. Welcome, sir. Swagster, so wizard, Sith the lordliest, and Rudini. And we're saying Trevster. All right. We're still talking about Keep on the Borderlands, but I'm kind of going over the second edition version of what they incorporated into the second edition version that wasn't in the first. Let's see. We got Swag saying hi too. That's cool. Now, I was talking about secret doors and concealed doors. Now, I always differentiated that this way. If it's a secret door, it involves magic. If it's a concealed door, it's mechanical or just hidden. Now, a lot of times, a secret door is a secret door. I mean, a lot of DMs don't differentiate, but I do. Okay, Ray. I'm laughing too, man. You guys are making me crack up tonight. That makes me feel better. Laughter is the cure for all that ails you. This flu bug or something that I've got is been taking me out this week. And with my asthma, I am really susceptible to that kind of crap. Let's see. Thinny, how I was laughing when my wife told y'all to quit on Saturday night, except I was drunk then. This is, yeah, okay, yeah, I got you. Okay. Now, it also has notes on weather, which was nice for a dungeon master. A lot of modules don't do that either, and it really wasn't in even in second edition rules. Now, they had a wilderness survival guide, which did that really well in first edition. So I'm glad they incorporated that in here because it kept the tone of the original Keep on the Borderlands. And then they had a final note for the dungeon master, which I like to do too when I ride adventures. Yeah, it sure is, Trev. Laughter's great. Hope you improve soon, bud. I thank you, sir. I do too. It's all up. It's all up in my sinuses, and I'm dealing with it, and I'm soldiering through, man. I'm glad I did because this has been a lot of fun, and thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Okay, so your wife has a deviant mind. Okay, yeah, we got deviants going on in our mag game, so I'm not sure what we're talking about here. I think you're talking about something else. So, uh, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt, though, Ray. Okay, uh, there's a really nice section on here, and this adventure really is why I incorporated a legend into my written adventures and my campaign modules is so that the ref knows the background right up front, and it does that here with the keep, history of the keep, and population and placement. Now, it doesn't do like some of the newer 5th edition adventures where it shows the original and then how they changed it. I don't think they needed to do that here. They just went through the details of the keep, and they right where you needed it. They included the map, but I personally like to have the maps all in one section, so I have an appendix for that in my written adventures. That's just the way I do things. So, like I said, it goes over the keep again, and but in this, it actually, like I said, names all the NPCs that are in the keep, and I like to call NPCs referee player characters because a referee or a dungeon master is running the characters, and so they're their characters. I don't see why they're called non-player characters. The dungeon master is playing them, so the DM player characters, whatever you want to call them, it's the same thing. Okay, so and you're right, Ray. A lot of this is very similar to the old 1st edition artwork, some of the old classic basic D&D art too, and it kind of invokes that. And putting it in that light, I like it. I like it more now, and I like it more as it progresses. Some of it to me was like this. It was a really nice tavern scene. I thought that was pretty cool. And let me see here, and it does a really more it gives you a more detailed version of what's in the keep. Plus, it, like I said, it names all the NPCs, so you don't have to name them. But I kind of like the idea of naming the naming the NPCs. But like I said, if you incorporate both of these, you can do both. You can have it. You can use these names or not. You can make up your own. It's a lot of fun. Then it gives you a list of potential henchmen and allies, which you can hire. Which now in the basic module in the original Keep of the Borderlands, you just had a list of NPCs that you could name yourself. Well, they've got a list in here of named NPCs that you can hire and stuff, and it's pretty cool. At least I think so. So either way, like I said, you could incorporate both. You could use these, and you could use the random ones as well. Like Burger King. Why is it like Burger King? Because you can get it your way. Yeah, okay, Ray, I got you. So yes, like Burger King, you can have it your way. That's true, and that's the coolest thing about role-playing games. You, as a game master, you can have it your way, and you can make the players. So we're gonna call this DK, so we can do it your way. He's not here tonight. I don't know if he's ever joined one of my lives. I don't remember. That doesn't matter. It's cool. He's a good guy too. Let me see. We got Adventures in Town, and a little bit about Mendel the Slaver. So it gives you a background for a slaver, so you can actually incorporate the Slaver Saga, the A series of modules, into this as well. DK is an NBA bro. Yeah. So yeah, he's not into gaming. That's cool. Yeah, to each his own. That's the way I look at it. I've been doing a lot of things, and I can very easily sit down and watch a sports game with somebody and have a good time. Like I said, I love watching football occasionally. Still, I used to watch NFL religiously, so I get the attraction and the love for it. So on that score, I'm right there with you guys on your football tonight. It got to be a little political, and so that's why I stopped watching football. But I can still enjoy a football game. Let's see. Ray says D&D BAD. DNBAD. Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna try to figure that one out, Ray. Let's see. Okay, Ray says it's the tight pants. Okay, it doesn't do anything for me. Sorry. Paint your face next stream and yell in the screen like a sports fan. I don't know if I go that far. I've never even been into LARPing or any of that. So, yeah, I might dress up on occasion for Halloween, you know. Like, Tiger loves to wear the mask, so that's cool. You don't care for politics and sports, play the game. Same with D&D. I don't like the politics in D&D, play the game. So it's the same concept as far as I'm concerned. Whatever you love, enjoy it, and just keep the politics out of it as far as I'm concerned. I don't know why they get into that. It's just money is a factor too in a lot of things. And whatever the current trend is. What I did like about this second edition update, trying to get back to this and stay on target, 100%, yes, sir. It gave you a series of little things that could happen in town, little adventures that you could add to this to make it a campaign. And I think that Mage's Music does that very well. So, again, check out his channel. The link is in the description for his review caps on his adventures using this module and several other basic D&D modules too. And he incorporates a lot of different modules to it. Yes, sir, Ray. Stay on target. That's what I love about live streams. We really don't have to stay on target, but I do want to focus because I did want to cover so get some things covered. But that's half the fun of being here with you guys. And this moth, apparently, did I get it? Yeah, I got it. And now I've got to deal with it, unfortunately. He's been buzzing my head all afternoon, and I knew I hadn't seen him for a couple hours. I went looking for him with the fly swatter, and I didn't get him, but he got down. So that's a target. Reminds me of Karate Kid with the chopsticks. Bert saying hi to Trev. Let's see. Hashtag squash the moth. Squash moth. Yes, sir. I hate it when I do that too, because I instantly try to catch things where they fall, or if it's buzzing around my head, I'll try to grab it. Sometimes I can. I used to be a lot faster than I am now, that's for sure. But like I said, they have these little mini adventures in here. They have the Assassin's Challenge, Sir Robin, and then it tells you how to incorporate your own in here too, which is a nice little section. I suppose it is the cat in me. I was born under the sign of the dog, the Chinese sign of the dog, or I consider it the wolf. So I feel more wolf than dog, but I like dogs too. My kid really, when she got it, well, they got a dog. They incorporated that softened my heart towards dogs over the years, but I'm still a cat guy. I love my little Luna and our even old Gray, who we hardly see because he's old and just kind of hangs out with my sister most of the time, but still a good cat, and I'm glad we actually got to film him the one time. If we can get him some more, we're going to probably get some more films of Gray, and I'll probably dub over a voice for him like I did before. That seemed to work really well, and we enjoyed doing that. Now, this has a bigger section on the wilderness. Now, it's really cool. What I was going to mention earlier, and I don't know if I did, about Keep on the Borderlands. Basic set is really dungeon delving, okay? And then their very first module talked about wilderness, and I'm glad they included that. But the expert set, way detailed how to run wilderness games, and I love that. Let's see. You said Sith Lordly says a dog guy. Yeah, I would say I'm still more of a cat guy, but I can deal with dogs, and I love dogs too. One has a box you pull Tootsie Rolls out of, and the other has Lincoln Logs you could gotta pick up. This is true. I've always found cats a lot easier upkeep than dogs. Tootsie Roll, yeah, I got you, sir. So yeah, the second edition did that too. Gives you a big section on how to roll the wilderness and how to do. Yeah, I like what they added here though. They separated into road encounters, wood encounters, and swamp encounters. Now the first edition one did too. It had its nice little water encounters, but they did for level 1, level 2, level 3. But that's kind of the way AD&D first edition was set up and basic D&D was set up. And it's a great saying, Bert. Okay, so it has a big section on how to run bandits in here, which is nice. A lot of modules just say, here's a bandit. You know how to do it, right? And Ray says it's a good analogy because you shouldn't eat Lincoln Logs. This is very, very, very true. I wouldn't want to eat Lincoln Logs either in any form. They add a new encounter called the Bee-Man. They add the boule to this, and I don't know if anyone is familiar with what a boule is. It's the way a lot of people pronounce it bullet, but it's a French word clearly, and it is pronounced, as far as I know, it is pronounced. If I can get the right one over here, let me see. Boule, there it is. Boule. Okay, people call it bullet, but if it was bullet, there would not be an E on the end. So there it goes. And Tootsie Rolls are really tasty. I really agree with that. Around Halloween, I didn't have any Tootsie Rolls this year. Now that I think about it, I missed that. Okay, yes. The other ones should be called Rootsie Rolls. Yeah, Rootsie Rolls. Zoinks! Scoob, let's get out of here. Okay, with my voice being a little hoarse, that actually I can do a Shaggy voice better. Can't see a damn thing. Well, you know, I was just showing you the word, the boule here, and maybe I can just get that up a little closer. And it shows a caravan and knolls and things of that nature. So, was that better, Ray? Can you see it now? I'm basically just showing you how they lay the module out. I mean, I could sit here with the PDF and do chapter and verse on it, but I don't think that's not the way I want to do reviews. I want to actually, you don't know what WTF a Tootsie Roll is? It's got cocoa in there somewhere, cocoa bean and cocoa powder most likely. But yeah, who knows what a Tootsie Roll is made out of? I'm sure they've got it online somewhere. They kept a lot of stuff from the first edition, but they, like I said, they added a lot. They added harpies and leeches and lucrota, which is kind of like a hyena dog thing, if I remember correctly. They do a big section on the lizardmen, which was from the first edition. I'm glad they kept that. They have a section on pilgrims that travel through the area. And it was a nice little addition. And they added a shambling mound, which those are nice plant creatures that you could throw at your players. A very different monster that you could actually have your players encounter. Spiders that haunt the woods, which they didn't have in the first one, and I'm a fan of spiders as a monster. Not as I don't like spiders on me, but I definitely am fascinated by spiders, and I have a good time throwing them at my players. Then they have sturges, which I call needle bats, because I think this term sturges is very cool for AD&D, and I like that. But they are really nasty little bats, needle bats, bat-like wings, and they're basically a mix between a bat and a mosquito. Man, they're just a nasty creature, sucking the blood right out of you. There's a really cool thing in here called the Shy Tower, and it's a massive section from starting here and then going all the way over to the next page. Even hello, Rook, how you doing tonight? Still talking about Keep on the Borderlands, and we're in about an hour and 10 minutes. I'm doing pretty good here tonight. I thought I was going to be pretty wasted because I'm still not feeling good, but feeling better talking to you guys. Thank you. That's been true all day, starting with this morning with Cat Fan. Oh, just really appreciate you guys helping cheer me up. They got the Will-O-Wisp and something they call wolf spiders, which I like. Thought they were kiwis with wings. However you want to interpret them, Ray. But yeah, sturges were and still are a nasty monster. I do like the wolf spider in here from second edition. I have wolf spiders in my game too. Zombies, got it. Zombies and bandits. Definitely a first edition monster to fight. A basic monster. I mean, let me see. I do like the fact that they had a lot of box text in here for you to read to your players, and I could have gone through and made some audio for all of that, but I really wanted to more focus on the differences between the basic adventure and the second edition update for Greyhawk. And like I said, at the beginning of each section, they did that artwork for the Keep on the Borderlands, and I like the original so much better, but. This right here, it just invokes so much more to the imagination than that black and white art. Not that the black and white art is bad. It's just this is so much better, at least in my opinion. Spiders in the 619. Yeah, Paul would probably like that, but just not in his house or in a package that he opens. Let's see. Rook says, "We got you, bro. I hope you feel better." Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Rook. Definitely appreciate you guys cheering me up and being here, and I hope you're enjoying just talking about Keep on the Borderlands. It's still one of my. I know a lot of people think in the term sandbox they throw that around, and it is to be the original sandbox adventure. You could do so much with it, and I like to incorporate story and sandbox together. I don't necessarily like what they call railroad games. The Keep on the Borderlands is definitely not a railroad adventure, in my opinion. Some people think it is too, but I think it's kind of it gives you the best mix of both. It has the stuff that's there, but then it lets you do what you want with it. And, like I said, I wanted to do a little bit on the differences in the Caves of Chaos here, because that's the meat of the module. Okay, so we'll open this up. The Cave A is still the Cave of the Kobolds. And they didn't change that. But I'm pretty sure they changed Cave B. Yeah, they made it a bandit lair instead of an orc lair. I prefer the orcs. That's just me. I think the orcs would hang out with the kobolds more than bandits. But then again, it might just be me. And then we get into, let me switch over here on the first edition module. Cave D is the goblin lair. Let me see. And they did clean this up a lot better. And they actually had these marked as C4, C4 and plastic explosives. But no, they put the cave number or cave letter at the beginning and then the number for each one instead of just having it the section header and then each different number. That way you could differentiate. You could say, instead of saying, it was the Goblin's Lair, cave D, and then the number of the encounter area, but you could actually incorporate that. They incorporated that right into it, and they actually made it say like area C5 or D3 or D4 for Cave D. I thought that was a pretty good update to the original adventure. And like I said, they kept the D, the Goblin's Lair. And then we get over to E, and in the original, it was an ogre cave. They changed that to a troll. Troll, ogre. Depends on your the way you like it. I think the ogres are more goblinoid. They're both goblinoids in my game, but troll or ogre, not much difference. The only difference is a troll is harder to kill than an ogre. So I think for beginning players, I would go with Ogre, and if you were running at a more advanced or intermediate or expert rule that you want to run your game at, if you're more expert, go for Troll. If you're more basic, use the Ogre. Like I said, I like to combine both. And let me see. In the original version, you had Cave F being the Hobgoblin lair, and they kept that. They kept they call it a former Hobgoblin lair, and then they changed all the monsters in all the areas, and that was pretty cool. And yeah, who would hang out with trolls? Yeah, they're sneaky, and they're almost troglodyte-like in many ways, except their troglodytes are reptiles. But that's my opinion too. But like I said, in the Hobgoblin lair, the updated one, they have different monsters and different traps and re-describe the entire encounter area, and I like that. And you can incorporate both into your adventure, whichever encounters you like the most. And you can throw the hobgoblins back in here, but they have them as hobgoblin zombies in here, which it's monster zombies. That's kind of cool. And then they had Cave F in the original. Well, like I said, it was a hobgoblin lair, and G was. Let's see here. G was I think that was the Minotaur's cave. Where did it F? Get past the Hobgoblin. The Hobgoblin cave was one of the bigger ones, so it was kind of interesting that they changed that. But they added slavers to this, and the slaves were in the Hobgoblin caves, which they don't have in the second edition, which is kind of interesting how they took that aspect out and then put it back in the keep. And yes, trolls will eat anyone, and there's you got to deal with the dung thing, a la Willow. But those are hairy trolls. Let me see here. There, the G was the Shun Cave, and they changed that to the Fungus Cave, which is very similar in a lot of ways. They had some of the similar monsters, but they had an owlbear in the original, which, that's right there in the original artwork. Right at the beginning, there's your owlbear, and they take the owlbear out. It's like, why would you take the owlbear out of the keep on the Borderlands? But, they made their decision, and they made it all like slimes and molds and fungus in there instead. Whatever, right? But I prefer to have the owlbear there. Then you get to Cave H. Cave H. And that would be in the original. H would be the bugbear lair, and they called them beleaguered bugbears, and they kind of wussed them out. I never do that, but you could. You never take out you never take the owlbear out. No, I have never had a party actually kill the owlbear in this adventure, so that's kind of true. So maybe that's why they took it out, but it was part of the original artwork to me, and you got to have the owlbear in your game. Then, of course, you have the Cave of the Minotaur in the original Cave I. And let me see here. The second edition, they called it the Labyrinth, and they still have the Minotaur, so that's cool. The J was Cave J was the former Knoll lair. And so they changed that one, and then there you go. They put the owlbears over in the Knoll Cave, so they still have them. Like I said, I mostly run the original, and I wanted to sit here and do a little comparison. And then you got finally the Shrine of Evil Chaos in Cave K, and they call it the Hidden Temple in the new version, and they changed the big bads who are there, so you can actually mix and match, do what you want to do, be like BK. And like I said, they had a bunch of cool stuff for NPCs at the end of this, of the first the basic module. They actually do a lot more detail on the final part of the adventure, and they actually have an after adventure, but they don't add a big section at the end for NPCs and stuff because they incorporated them near the beginning. More like I kind of set things up with a legend. So I did like that aspect of the second edition module. But like I said, I like to mix and match and use the best parts of both because they do both have a lot of good parts. And but you know, there's so much you can do with this. Hello, Catattainment. She's saying hello to you guys too in the chat. It's nice to see you. We're just about wrapping up here. I pretty much covered all my points and the differences. Now, what I really wanted to talk about now. Hello, yes, hello, Adam. I have to ingrain that in my brain that Catattainment is Adam too. I try to get everybody's names down and can't remember everything, but I try. Memory is not what it used to be. Oh, the old enemy. Nice to be seen. Well, it is nice to be seeing you. Now, like I said, at the end of these read views that I want to do, I don't really want to do reviews. I want to do, like I said, a read view. Read a bit, talk a bit. All cat channels are female by default. Well, that may be true, but I appreciate the thumbs up, Rook. My wife does a lot of cat stuff on our channel, and I do a lot of we do the game stuff together, and I do G.I. Joe. So I like to have a little variety. But like I said, at the end of these reviews for the individual adventures and modules, I kind of wanted to do how I do things for Lenharo. Now I kind of covered that. If I get the right side up, I kind of covered that. All you really need to do for to incorporate it into my game system, Lenharo Fantasy Adventures, is basically make a creature trip sheet and put go through the module and use our system, use our stats to play our game, or you can just run it the way it originally was with the monsters in here. Very similar way of running things, Lenharo and old AD&D as far as combat's concerned. What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean, Ray? Because Ray does a cat channel too. So what are you trying to say, Ray? I know. What would your wife say, sir? All right. Anyway, what I wanted to wrap this up with is the way I decided to do when I decided to do Lenharo. I had a lot of these incorporated into my campaign, and I enjoy converting these older modules to my system because it's not much combat. Like I said, is not much different. I do ascending instead of descending armor class. I think that's a good update and change to the old rules. But I think any of these old modules can be incorporated into your game if you enjoy the story. This particular adventure, and the reason why I wanted to start with this one, is because it's really easy to do, especially for a campaign. Let's see, Ray says, haven't you noticed, unless the name is John's Cats or something, that people assume a cat channel is a YouTuber is a female? Now, I stopped doing that because I found that not to always be true, especially in your case, Ray. But yeah, a lot of them are, and some people have cooking channels like Rook, and I like a lot of she does a lot of recipes and food stuff, and she's got a cool channel. And Spine Ticks does entertainment, comics, cards, games, action figures, role playing, whatever suits his fancy. That's kind of how I am. Whatever suits my fancy and whatever my wife and my son Jake likes to do, Tiger and Jake. And we've got Red Power Ranger Fan 27. He's got his own channel, but he likes to come over and hang out with us on occasion. And I think as a community, we can all just come together and do our thing. And I enjoy a lot of stuff on you guys' channels. And then going back through the list here of everybody who's here, we got Catattainment, who has their own YouTube channel. So sub up to them. Like I said, Spine Ticks for Sith Lordly, and Ray's got a really cool channel. Rook of All has, like I said, a good channel. Let me see who we got back here. We had Swag, but I think he took off. Bert has several channels. Bert's Beats. So yeah, Trev the shipping guru. It's nice to have you be here with us tonight too. And Swag has his own channel, but I don't think he puts anything on it. But I subbed up to him anyway. Uncanny Swag. And we had Super Cyber Godzilla in here earlier. And Sydney Cat. I don't know if you're still hanging out with us, Sydney, but Sydney's got a cool channel too. And Renee from Rascal Lucy, she's got a great channel. So Allison Pearl Jam, everybody here has their own channel. I'm not familiar with everybody's videos, but I'm trying to get there. Robert Springs was here for a bit. We all just we're one big community, and I really appreciate you guys, and I'm glad that you decided to take the time to hang out with me tonight. Let's see. Logan referred to you as she, Adam. I did. I don't remember that. I know that Catattainment was Adam there, but I forgot which guy name it was. Cats and Daring Escapes. Unless we know each other, really get to know each other really well, how do we know who's what? And does that really even matter? I mean, we all have our own channels, and pronouns are dude and bro. Well, my pronouns are, me and my. Oh my. No, I'm a he, and I don't have any aspirations to be anything other than that. But I got a trans kid, and they want to be a he, and that's cool. That's what they want to do. It was a brain flu. It might be a flu brain, and that may be it too. I try to get everybody, refer to everybody properly by their names if I can. I don't know everybody's names yet, but I'm working on it. And again, I'm glad you all were here with me tonight, and I hope you enjoyed my review of Keep on the Borderlands and its sequel, Return to Keep on the Borderlands. And with that all being said, good night, my friends, and Logan out.